Welcome to today's episode of What in the World Am I Doing with My Life? Today, I'm going to show you all of the basics to eyelash extensions. Yay! So, with no time to dilly-dally, I am just going to get right into it. These are practice strips. They are absolutely necessary if you want to learn eyelash extensions, because I don't want you just going ham on one of your BFFs. I don't care if they trust you or not, it is a recipe for disaster. Another very important thing is the tool that you use, and that tool is tweezers. So invest in two nice tweezers, or a single pair of tweezers. Mine were $20 each. I got them separately, but I've seen tweezers in the range between $1 to $70. It just depends where you get them and the quality of the materials. Even though they're probably all exactly the same, my $20 tweezers are definitely heavier than my dollar tweezers. And these are the under eye pads that you see all of them lash techs be using. I know, you don't really need them on a mannequin, it's not a real person, but it is good practice to figure out exactly how you're going to place them, difficulties you might experience, etc. As you can see with this first eyelash, I had put the sticky part of the lash band down too close to the lower part of the eye, and that made it lay a little bit too flush to the cheek for me to do that one first. I don't know why it's my preference to do the easier one first, but if I can do the easier one first, you bet I'm going to, 100% of the time. And sometimes you are just gonna fight with them. Sometimes people's face, their anatomy, it just does not want to work with the pads, and that's okay. I've found especially for more mature skin, stuff that's not as supple and doesn't bounce back quite as well, I will have to just tape them with under eye tape and no pads, but that's fine. So now is the actual fun part of this whole ordeal. Basically, we're going through the eyelash extensions that I have on hand, and I don't have every type, obviously, I'm just one person, but still, it's nice to look at. These are volume fans. I get them pre-made just because it's easier for me whenever I have so many people. These are individual lashes. They are most commonly used for classic sets and anything that people want to look more natural. Obviously, mine are pink. So I'm not commonly doing classic sets. Most of my colored lashes go on as like a pop of color for my mega volume girls. And these funny little guys, the only thing that really makes them different from the other ones are the base. The base of these lashes are flat instead of a circle. Fun fact of the day for those who might not know, but the adhesive used is just double-sided tape, so you can re-stick lashes that you don't use as long as they haven't touched a person. Alright, cool, my voiceover is already not matching up with what I'm doing in the video. Anyways, I just showed you how I wear my glue ring. It is the most effective way for me to not have to reach around, look for the glue. I only use clear adhesives, just for the obvious reason of whenever I'm doing a colored set or adding a pop of color, I don't want the dark adhesives to wash out all of the color that I have worked for. And you saw right there, I only did 2 drops in one half of the glue ring. I like to leave the other half open in case I am working too slow or my humidity is off. All things can contribute to the glue curing too quickly or not curing at all. So let's just get into it. I know the humidity and temperature and etc. Everything in my room is fine for eyelash extensions, and we're just gonna separate a lash. So you can use your fingers to separate. You can use the other tweezer to assist in making sure you got a nice clear singular lash, not multiple, just one. This is what I typically do whenever I have somebody getting a wet set. I'll take a small amount of lashes, not just one singular lash, and I'll make sure that a fan stays together, so it's more of a spike opposed to a fanned out extension. So it's going to look more refined, and you're going to be able to see it pretty clearly on the eyelash. I'm just going to go for it. We're going to show you these flat guys. I'm not a fan of them personally for the mannequin head or the practicing situation. They work amazing on people, on human lashes, because they're porous, but just the fact that these practice strips are probably made of plastic, let's be honest, I feel like it doesn't give them as much to cling on to, so they can just rotate around the eyelash that you're trying to practice with, which it can be a problem, but you know you're doing good whenever it just stays exactly where it's supposed to. I even had to go back and slightly rotate it so it would stay up. I love how we're only 4 minutes in and I'm sitting here looking at my time, seeing that this is going to be a long, long video. Oh boy. Okay, let's do a little volume fan. Like I said before, I get these pre-made just because it's easier for me, because I have a huge amount of clientele that only gets volume and mega volume, and I, quite frankly, don't have enough time in my day to go and hand make every single fan for every single girl. That would definitely increase the time that I'm working, and I would prefer making my girls happy rather than being like, sorry boo, I have to cut you out for the week, come back later. That's not fun. Okay, so going in, I was fighting for my life trying to separate a nice little lash, so I just went right next to the one that's folded over and bent, and these ones, they're great. They work wonderful. I love them. They are my go-to, my ride or die. I've been working with this brand for at least 2 years now. Their lashes are amazing, super soft. Oh, I can't say enough good things about them. They stuck right on the mannequin head. Spectacular. Love it. Okay, perfect. So now let's try one of these normal, individual lashes. I did not do an individual. I had to grab 3 just so that it maybe could be seen on camera, which is fine. Similar idea to the first one I placed. Just plop it down, put it in one of those creases of the glue thing, separate a lash. I did have to go back and re-dip it because I didn't have enough glue, and that's one of the things that can really affect your eyelash extension sets. Sometimes you don't get enough glue and the lash doesn't stick. Sometimes you get way too much glue and you end up basically flooding out their eye. DIY waterboarding. We don't really want that. It's not fun. But here's a nice little close-up showing each of the lashes from the top view. So the view that you would be seeing as the artist. Not from the underneath view. We'll get to that later. I know this isn't really a great teaching video. It's more so, hey, if you're going to do it, at least do it this way, or maybe pick something up just by watching. But we're going to go through actually learn something here. So all of the lengths of each lash, whenever you get a mixed type of tray, lash tray, is on typically the right side with the curl pattern and size of the eyelash extension on the left side. And you can see that these little things, they're also double-sided tape, so they're sticky. You can adjust them, put them on places, put them on people's foreheads for all I care. Don't actually do that. It really bothers me. I always get left with a nice rectangle of adhesive on my forehead. Ugh. Hopefully that's good and you're able to learn something from that. Yeah, I pointed out the wrong area for the size 19s. Whoopsies, my bad. Anyways, I'm going to show you kind of a basic how I like to work, how I would do a cat eye, since I don't like to really mess around too much with having eyelash extensions get glued together. So, as you can see, pulled a little chunk, had an eyelash stuck, ripped it right out. Too bad, get out of here. These are the ones that are 20 millimeters in length. So, I'm going to place that close to the outer corner. Obviously, you don't want to do, okay, maybe this isn't obvious if you've never done this before, but you don't want to place eyelash extensions on the very, very last eyelashes, because sometimes they're just too thin, too small, whatever it may be, and they won't be able to support the weight of the eyelash. So here's one. Static electricity got me. I hate her. I hate static electricity. Try to pop it down on my hand. You can only see my fingers. Spectacular. I'm so sorry. In situations like this where nature is against me, I'll just kind of squish it between a few fingers, yoink it. It will break apart. That's just a fact of how it is. And I'll re-glue, separate another lash. It's going to be the exact same one I was on before, just because this is not a real person. And we're going to fight with it again. We're going to stick her down, hope for the best. This one was placed really well. It is close enough to the natural lash. Well, it's not a person. It's close enough to the band where it won't cause irritation because it's not glued over top of the band. And it's not glued too far away, which also can cause irritation because the lash can flip around or, get kind of pulled on, tugged on, removed in unsavory ways. So I like to work outer corners first and work my way into the middle. Typically with, especially the mega volume girls, I really, really do need to work from one side to the other. So I'll go from the outer where it's the longest and work my way in. And this is really different than working on a person because there's only one layer of lashes. Most people have 2 or 3 different layers, levels, whatever you want to call it, but nobody's going to have just one perfect straight across row. That's not a thing. And if it is a thing, they are going to have very, very sad looking lashes, but you know, no harm to them, I guess. I've just never seen it before in my life, ever. Maybe it is a thing, who knows? So, we're just gonna go right back to it. So the lash that's on the very, very outer corner of the eye is a size 20 millimeters long. The one on the very inner corner is 14 millimeters long. And since I could not locate my 15s, I kind of skipped over where I would put that. I found them in the end, so that one I just placed is 16 millimeters. And I'm trying really, really hard to show you and be a good elf, but it got really blurry and wanted to focus on my fingers only. This one is 17 millimeters, so I'm just slowly working my way up. And I don't know if you can tell or if you've done any reading on eyelash extensions, but for this one, I'm going for a little cat eye effect. And yes, that was an eyelash that got static electricity stuck to my tweezer. Friggin' static electricity, man. I'm so tired of it. Sometimes it's really hard to figure out where you're supposed to place an eyelash, like how far away you're supposed to place it from, let's say, where the eyelashes grow from, or how far up the natural lash you're supposed to go. And my best way of figuring this out is how large are the tips of your tweezers? About that size should be safe and okay and happy and healthy. Because whenever you get too close, like I said, it will cause irritation. Because whenever that happens, usually you end up getting glued to the skin. And then that's itchy, it causes pain. People want to rip out their eyelashes. 9 times out of 10, they will rip out their eyelash if it's hurting. So just try to keep those little things in mind. What is most comfortable for your client, or in this case, what is most comfortable for our sweet little mannequin? Look at me fighting to figure out where my 19 millimeter lashes start. I could not for the life of me find them. I kept trying to grab for the 18s again. No, girl, we're not doing that. Okay, crisis averted. I got my little 19s. Life is good. I'm happy. So, stick them in the glue. Happy, live, laugh, love. Do exactly what I've been doing this entire time. Space it apart. Bang, bang, boom, boom. Life is good. So, there's going to be 7 spikes that I have created total. And for a cat eye, I've seen anywhere between 4 different sizes all the way up to like 10 different sizes. So it just depends on how gradually you want it to shape out into a cat eye. And I know some people do like to make them shorter again on the absolute outer edge. But since this is just for educational purposes, I'm really trying to make sure that you can see very clearly the size differences whenever I come around with the other angle of the camera. So, found my 15s. Here they are. They were on the other side of my lash tray. It's not supposed to be there, but it's there right now, and that's okay. Alright, I'm just gonna zoom through this one a little bit because you've seen it a million times at this point, just in this video alone, so my bad. Here we go, last one. Woo! Put that in. Great. Okay, so my next little clip is going to be our mannequin. Wow! Look at her. She's thrilled with the set she received today. It's giving. Alright, well, I'm tired of editing now, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye!